Sweet sound of a boxer motor starting up. Love the way this thing pulls. How is everybody doing today? This is Mike with Byrnz Rubber. Here with this lovely sunny day in Okinawa. Finally get some sun. It has just been raining and dreadful, and finally I get some sun. Yes. So it's just so much better to enjoy the summer with the sun out, right? So today we're going to be talking about a vlog. This is actually my very first vlog that we're going to be doing. And with the vlog today, we're actually going to be discussing general maintenance. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me about car maintenance, you know, some of the things that you should do with just general car maintenance overall. So I will give you the 5 top tips of today. And also at the end of the video, I do have a few announcements as well. So just make sure to stay tuned so that you are fully in tune with all the stuff that I have coming for the channel. So tip number 1 is make sure you check your oil and also change your oil when it's bad. That is one of the most important and most vital things about a vehicle is the oil. So if you can make that analogy with the human being, how blood is important to a human, oil is important to a car. Without the oil, you're not going to have proper lubrication in the engine. It's going to cause overheating and eventually the seize of the motor if you do not have the proper oil in it, or if you never change the oil, it can create some really bad carbon deposits in your engine. So that would say that's the first and most priority things that you can actually see with your car is the oil. Now, of course, with the intervals between the oil changes, you could probably go anywhere between 3,000 to 5,000 miles. If you have a newer and more modern vehicle, you can actually probably go anywhere from 5 to 10,000 miles. So making sure you check your oil, and this is something that you could just do simply by opening up your engine hood, checking the oil dipstick, and figuring out the oil, the color of it. Now, if it's a really dark color, it means that it's usually about time to change it. If it's something of a lighter color, it usually means that it's not too bad. It's going to have a little bit of time before you have to change it out. But it's very important to check for those things. And also some good indicators and a good quick tip about oils in general is that you do not want to see any type of metallic at all in the oil. If you see metallics in your oil, that means that your motor somewhere in the pistons are shaving off between the engine blocks. So you want to make sure that you don't have those things, and I would definitely say don't panic if you see that, but it should definitely raise an alarm of maybe something that is going on internally in your engine. Also, there's different types of oils as well. The oil that I actually particularly use in my Subaru B4 Blitzen is Royal Purple Synthetic 5W30. Now, you can do your research and figure out what weight and proper oil is good for your car. Now, particularly for my car, I found that Royal Purple is a great product. They actually do have a lot of tests that they've done through performance, through racing, and everything else, development technologies-wise, to come up with this awesome oil. And why I chose 5W30 instead of the 10W30 that you can have for performance cars is I actually chose it because it actually has better viscosity for turbocharged type of engines, especially for the boxer motor in this car. It actually does very well. Now, comparing to my Mustang back home, I do have relatively the same oil, but I do have Ford Motorcraft synthetic 1030 weight oil, which is a little bit different. But that's what's a little bit different for the V8s, and the V8s kind of enjoyed that type of oil more. And also another thing to note is that you want to make sure that you choose the right filter with the oil as well. So why I say the right filter with the oil is because you want to make sure you change those two things out every time that you actually look at your oil and change the oil. If you don't do that, you actually leave some dirty deposits within the oil pan, and that's something that you don't want to do. And if you keep using a filter over and over, it's not going to be able to basically clean the oil that's moving around in your engine. So tip number 2 is air filters. Now, air filters are very important to the engine. Again, if we're making another human analogy, it's going to be basically the air that you breathe in. If you hold your mouth, or if you breathe in a bunch of bad air, you don't feel that good, right? So that's the same thing of a car engine. Now, they need oxygen, obviously, and clean oxygen so that they can actually have power. Now, when you have a dusty air filter, it actually means that your basically restricting the air that's coming in, and so you want to make sure that you have a clean filter so that you actually have better performance. And also, let's talk about fuel economy. You will get way better fuel economy if you actually have a clean filter. The third tip is tires. Tires are very important to your car. Obviously, it's what it sits on all the time and allows you to grip on the road and drive on a day-to-day basis. Now, without having good tread wear on your tires, you're not going to be able to drive properly. It's not going to be able to have the best grip, and especially when it comes to different types of weather, it's not going to have as good grip. So you want to make sure that you always check your tread on your tire, and if it's starting to get bold, it is going to become very dangerous. You want to make sure you change those things out. So, you know, of course, there's different types of tires from different manufacturers. They request in terms of performance cars or off-road cars or economy cars. Of course, there's different tires for those as well too. But as everything that I'm going to be telling you in this video is do your research, right? So if we're going to talk about performance cars like the cars that I have, they're going to have a little bit different tires than something of an off-road or economy car. Now, with my car particularly, it is a V-spec tire, as well as it's got a Y rating for the speed, and so that allows it to be a little bit harder composite, but it does have a little bit longer life than versus something, for example, with my Mustang back home, my 2013 GT Premium does have Pirelli P0 tires, which those are Z-rated tires, and they are also Y-rated as well. But the thing about the Z-rated tires or summer-only tires compared to something that I have on my Subaru is that the composites are completely different. If you're going to have a softer composite, it's going to actually mean you have more grip, but you are going to wear down your tire faster. Now, if you have something that's a harder composite, it means that you are going to have less grip overall, but you are going to be able to keep your tires longer. So it really just kind of depends on how you drive and what kind of car that you have. Now, particularly with this car, I didn't really need Z-rated tires because, well, Okinawa is not the best place to speed around. So I didn't really need anything like too high performance, but at the same time enough to grip and be able to go around corners and have fun. Now, my Mustang, on the other hand, is running free like the stallion it is in America, so I can have a little bit more speed in that and a little bit more open areas to open it up. So having a Z-rated tire and soft compound to have the most grip possible is the best thing to do. The fourth tip for you is make sure that your tires are rotated. Now, we did talk a little bit about tires and the tread wear and everything else. You should definitely rotate your tires. Now, rotating your tires are very important, and ideally, you should do it every single time that you actually make an oil change, just so that you can actually remember to do it. Rotate them around so that you have the most even wear. If you don't have the most even wear, you're actually going to basically have the tread go on one side of the tire more than some of the other ones, which means that you actually have to change out your tires sooner. So if you actually have all of your tires maintained, you're actually going to be able to keep your tires longer and, well, save more dinero in the future. Tip number 5 is make sure that your fluids are absolutely topped off. Now, why do I say that? It's because all your fluids keep your engine together. Now, within your engine, of course, we did talk about oil earlier, but actually having coolant and brake fluid, those are two other ones that are also very important. And of course, you have some of your other smaller ones, like your wiper fluids and those kind of things, and that would be kind of more for safety. But I would say the two important fluids that you definitely want to check up on and make sure they're maintained is definitely the coolant and the brake one. Now, of course, your brake one's going to take something called a .3 type of liquid or fluid. And then, of course, your coolant can be any type of coolant. Now, depending on your temperature and your climate, you can actually have something of a water mixture, like a 50-50 ratio of a coolant, or you can actually have full coolant in there. Now, the ratios are important because of the temperature. Now, if you're living in the freezing climate, you don't want your fluid inside the engine to freeze up, so you want to actually have full coolant or 100% coolant versus somewhere like this, where you can actually have about a 50-50 mixture. It is a tropical climate. It's a little bit warmer, so you don't actually need anything that's 100% coolant. And also another thing too is that without your coolant, well, your engine's gonna heat up. So you basically, with engines, they do get very hot. So if you don't have a coolant to counteract that, your engine is going to eventually just wear down to the point where it'll have engine failure or seize up or engine detonation. And that's exactly what you do not want in your car, and that's kind of a bad thing as well. Also, brake fluid. So brake fluid is another one. So brake fluid is very important because without the brake fluid, you are not going to be able to stop that easy. So you're going to be able to stop a lot better if you actually have good fluid in there. I wanted to thank you guys so much for watching my vlog today. I hope you enjoyed the vlog about car maintenance. Now, if there is anything that you guys suggest in terms of wanting to see or hear anything from me, make sure to put it in the comments below, and then I will talk about it possibly in the future vlogs. Also, I did say earlier in the video that I do have some announcements to make. So one of the announcements is I'm going to mainland Japan again. So I'm actually going to be going up there on a vacation. I'm actually going to be going with my wife, Byrnz, lovely wife Cassandra Byrnz, and we are going to be going to Osaka, Japan, Kyoto, and Tokyo, and we are actually going to Universal Studios as well as Disneyland in Tokyo. So we're going to be going on bullet trains, going to different restaurants. So we are going to be enjoying the culture of what everybody sees outside of Japan. So people always see pictures of Tokyo and everything that is in it, and so those are the things that I'm going to be passing those experiences through this channel. If you did enjoy the video today, make sure to hit the like button, and also if you want to see future content, make sure to hit that subscribe. I really appreciate your guys' support to the channel, and until next time, I will see you guys later. So we're stopping up one of my favorite little places. It is a Japanese convenience store, which is Family Mart. Now, I know convenience stores sounds like a crazy thing, and why would you even like it? It would be some of your guys' questions, but you will see the awesomeness of this store. Look at all this awesome food. It's like not even a real convenience store. Now, this convenience store is back stateside. They have just a bunch of whatever, garbage, not that great. But these stores have like everything in here. And the best part about everything are these sandwiches. These sandwiches are like the most angelically softest sandwiches that you'll see, and they are literally like crack, the most addicting thing ever. And they have all kinds of goodies in here. Gotta go in ham in here. So I got a few things at Family Mart. I actually got a little yakitori stick, which is a flame charred chicken on a stick with teriyaki sauce, and I got a rice ball with, looks like a cordon bleu chicken, which sounds pretty darn good. And then lastly, I got an illy latte macchiato. Yes, I know it's a bit Italian, but hey, coffee, iced coffee on a hot day like this is perfect.